were the side that are top of the Premier League tonight, and a big win for Arsenal over Aston Villa. Of course, Arsenal have been missing players in recent weeks, without Rice tonight, but then able to welcome back other players. Where do you see them now? Because, of course, Manchester City are hot on their tail, and Aston Villa have been keeping that pace. A big win for the Gunners tonight.
Yeah, look, I think Arsenal are okay. Look, they've got City on their shoulder, which is never appealing, with Pep there and Haaland and other players that have won many, many titles and Champions League, so they've been around the block. But they're not going to have it all their own way. They're not going to have it easy, and to win your first title is going to be a massive struggle. Let's be clear. But they're in that struggle, and they're competing in that struggle. And tonight's a good night for them to win 4-1 against Villa, a team that are in great form and a good run of performances and results. Declan Rice is the one player that you look at that I think if he was missing for a longer period of time, it would cause a real issue. But I've said for a number of weeks now with Arsenal, I am not listening to one single excuse. They've built a squad that is resilient, that is capable of coping with injuries, that's got 2 or 3 players in each position now, that's had a lot of money spent on it, and it's been cured over a long period of time by Mikel Arteta, who's been given a serious amount of time in the job. This has got to be the season where they lift silverware. They've got the Carabao Cup semi-final coming up in a few weeks. They've got, obviously, the Champions League, but the Premier League title is the one. It is the one they have to win. That's the one that's going to really change the goal, or move the goalpost and be a shift. Sorry, what's that?
Merson, let's talk about that win for Arsenal. We talk about statement wins, but when you look at the form Aston Villa were in, how did the Gunners dismantle them in the way they did?
In a 30-minute spell. 30-minute spell, an amazing 30-minute spell. Went off, got the corner. Bit fortunate, Martinez has got under, he's got behind Gabriel and he's tried to take it over him. He's dropped it and he scored. But for the next 29 minutes, they were outstanding. They suffocated Villa, went after them and made them look pretty average in the end, and were outstanding. It's a massive, massive result, this. A couple of results, they've just fallen over the line. Wolves, Brighton, tight games. Today, they put up against the biggest banging form team in the country, if not in the whole of Europe, and they've just dismantled them, absolutely dismantled them. They had a little spell in the game, Villa, where you thought Watkins has a good chance. If he scores, you never know. After that, never really in the football match. And, yeah, when you look at Arsenal's fixtures, their away fixtures, they go to Man City. I think everybody else is no higher than 7th or 8th.
Well, they've got Bournemouth away next, then it's Liverpool at home, and then they've got, of course, the FA Cup, the League Cup semi-final against Chelsea, and then it's Nottingham Forest away. They've got a good run of games coming up, and also I guess it quells those question marks about how they do against some of the biggest teams. Dropping points against City, losing against Liverpool, who haven't been great this season. That tonight has answered part of that question, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. Because people have been looking 2 points. A draw here and Man City win New Year's Day, and then they go top of the league. Now 5 points behind, 3 extra goals as well, because goal difference could play a big part in this, the way how tight it is at the moment. But you look at Arsenal with the away fixtures, with this massive result today, they play everybody else at home, all the big teams at home, bar Man City. And if they could perform like that, I just don't know who's going to stop them. I've said it a long time ago, and I'll stick with it. I think they win this quite easily.
Why did everything work for Arsenal tonight? What was key?
Well, with Villa, you know what you're going to get with Villa. They want to try and play out. They want to try and play out. They want to try and play through the middle. And that's what and when they get away with it. But they invite you to close down. And that's what Arsenal done. They just kept on closing down. They were nicking it time after time. And when it works for Villa, it's amazing. When it doesn't work, it needs to be changed. You need to get into the front man, hold it up, and then get players around. But today, Arsenal, outstanding.
And also defensively so impressive. Yeah, a little bit of annoyance, I guess, from Mikel Arteta. It wasn't another clean sheet, but 92 minutes it took for Villa to have their first shot on target. In terms of restricting a team in form, what a job he did tonight.
Yeah, you say 92 minutes. I mean, for me, Ollie Watkins has got to score. He misses the target. If he scores that, he was a good...
And that was much earlier in the game,
and much earlier. It was a good chance. So I know they didn't have a shot on target, and they didn't give one up, but they did... they give up a good chance in the game. But, yeah, I just felt it was a statement result today, real statement result. Man City would have been watching that game and they'll be thinking, wow.
What they want in 2026 in the right trajectory, says Mikel Arteta. They certainly end the year 5 points clear after that four-star showing against Aston Villa. 4 goals on the night and 5 points clear now. I think he's pretty much put an end to Handshake Gate by saying there's nothing really in it.
Yeah.
Of course there's something.
Like Jimmy says that normally the managers straight away, he goes straight to the manager. I don't know. I didn't realise there was such a stringent code of doing it. I just thought that you just like your guy's right there. You say hello to him, then you say, "Oh, let me go and say." But like he said, I'm quite glad he quashed it pretty quickly.
The other thing that he mentioned, which stood out, and he'd mentioned it before, he wanted the team to be ruthless. We talked in the build-up about the chances that Arsenal had created in the last couple of weeks and just not managing to finish them off. Today they did that.
Yeah, and that's what happens, and that's why there's tension and there's anxiety in the stadium, because we play well, and we don't take enough chances, we don't score enough goals to give not only the players the confidence to relax in a game and try and manage the game and see it out, but the fans as well, and the anxiety and how they feel about it. Especially when they know that a team like Manchester City's just waiting to pounce. They want to make sure that you win games and win them comfortably.
If you look at the Premier League history, the teams that have been dominating and winning the league, the Man United, they used to kill teams off. They used to score so many. Man City as well. When they are on top, they don't look back. You know, if they can score 5, they score 5. If they can score 6, they score 6. The only team really who hasn't done it and won it has been Chelsea under Conte, because that was quite a defensive kind of side. You know, so in a way, yes, Arsenal is going in the right direction, but that's really what I was talking about. I want them to kill teams off, and it's refreshing to hear Arteta says what he just said. You know, be ruthless. Be ruthless and keep on going and score as many goals, because it might end up that the goal difference is going to be the main factor at the end of the season. So score as many goals as you can.
2025 ending it off on a high for Arsenal in terms of that ruthless performance tonight. 2026 has the potential to be a big year for them, but plenty of work still to do. What are you hoping for in 2026?
To be honest, obviously to win all the home games. It's going to be tough because, again, consecutively, 3 times consecutively, they've not been able to get it over the line. So if they could do it in 2026, it will be a massive testament to Mikel and the work that him and his team have done.
Yeah, Jimmy, potentially a big year for them. What do you think will get them over the line as we look at the next 6 fixtures to come? Bournemouth, Liverpool, Portsmouth in the Cup, then Chelsea, Nottingham Forest and Inter in the Champions League.
Look, it's one game at a time. You know, the most important game now is Bournemouth, and it's with that same attitude that you had today to go into that game and try to punish them off. Yes, you're playing away from home. It's not going to be easy. Not every game is going to be as today. Yeah, we all know that. And some games you have to dig in, and you're going to win them 1-0. But some games you just have to really go for it.
Yeah, you guys have gone for it in terms of each other here. We've had a lot of arguments. Can we get a handshake just to end the year on a peaceful note? Oh, I love that. Absolutely. Nothing but love here in the studio. Nothing but love for all of you football fans worldwide.
You heard Patrick mention there what happened at the end, just to show you there. You know, Emery shook the hand of the 4th official and went straight down the tunnel to leave his coaching staff shaking Mikel Arteta's hand. I mean, it's not the biggest thing in the world for Mikel Arteta tonight, is he? He could barely stop smiling in that interview.
No, but listen, listen, you shake hands at the end of the game. You know, emotions are running high. And listen, if it was the other way round, you can imagine what would be getting said about Mikel Arteta. But what I would say is I think Mikel Arteta handled that really well in the press conference. Didn't make a big deal of it, you know, played it down. And rightly so. As I said, emotions are running high at the end of the game. And yeah, I think Arteta handled it all really well, all round.
He won't want us talking about that, Mikel Arteta, will he? Will want us talking about them going 5 points clear.
Yeah, of course, and that's what he's going to be talking about himself, and he talked about that in the interview. You know, how well his team had done, and, you know, he wants to take all the positives out of that, and, you know, going 5 points clear and going into the new year is just exactly what a performance he would have wanted.
Aston Villa, though, remain in third, and they will still be in third going into 2026. They can't be caught by anybody. The thoughts of Unai Emery now, again with